So we just saw the presentation of Contrast, a very unique and very interesting game, and was kind of reminded of another Wii game. I don't recall the name, but it's very similar to your concept with the shadows.
Lost in Shadow?
Lost in Shadow, yeah. Can you please tell the basic idea behind all the shadow
Sure.
thingy?
Yeah, I'd love to. In Contrast, what you can do, well, first you play the imaginary friend of a little girl, so you've got a very special power. And what you can do is you can walk up to any lit wall surface like this, and you can shift and become your shadow.
Yeah.
And so you shift from the 3D world, just like we are now, into a shadow that can jump on other shadows and run on other platforms on the wall. And you can do that whenever you want. So it's the shifting in and out of 2D and 3D is the core gameplay of Contrast.
That's a very cool idea. So there's no battle in Contrast. There's no fighting scenes or something.
No, there's no combat.
Combat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there are no fighting scenes.
Fighting scenes.
There actually were initially in the concept, but then we really felt like we wanted to create a more interesting game. We didn't want people to be just rushing through bad guy after bad guy. We wanted to create something challenging and fun and approachable. And so we settled on a puzzle platformer for the style of game. So no, there's no combat.
So is there a connection between the very special, I would call it some kind of film noir art design, and the story?
We chose film noir as a style to be influenced by because of the shadow mechanic.
This is the night it happened, when she never came home.
I'm getting the money. I promise.
I'm staying at the Excelsior, room 605.
Come on! My mom's show is gonna start.
Oh, many loves have I. You are just one more. But someday I'll be kissed, and maybe I doubt that I've been kissed before. That I've been loved.
We'll have to go through shadows.
Stay back.
Yeah.
So film noir really heavily uses shadows when it tells story, and we thought, great, we've got this shadow game. Let's tell some stories through shadow. And because of that, we then wrote the narrative with very much film noir in mind. So it's a film noir style. So it's got shadows, it's got the femme fatale.
Yeah.
It has got gangsters. It's got certainly a lot of elements of film noir.
Yeah. You said it's femme fatale and something. So the character is a very young girl, a bit sexualized, and also the backgrounds are. Yeah, it's that film noir style where all ladies some kind of dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dawn is the playable character, by the way. So Dawn is kind of styled as a young woman of slightly indeterminate age, and she is she's very much modeled after an acrobat, and she has these special powers. So we needed her to look athletic. We needed her to look. In our words, we think she's sexy but not sexualized. So she's got a pretty empowering design, especially in the context of the time. So we find that actually men and women generally respond very well to her design.
That's cool. Yeah. That's what I wanted to ask. If you aren't afraid of the discussion that's currently going on about sexism in games and so on.
Yeah.
Because when you only see these pictures, it's like, okay, it's another of those games, but it isn't actually.
No, that's exactly right. We're not afraid about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. We didn't set out to kind of blaze a trail. Sorry, we didn't set to blaze a trail in empowerment and depiction of women. But we actually have three main characters who are women, and the two men are sort of associated. They're main characters as well, but they're very much supporting the women's role in the game. So you've got little girl Dee Dee, you've obviously got your imaginary friend Dawn, and then you've got Dee Dee's mother Kat, and each one of them is quite atypical. So Kat's a very strong, passionate woman, and is a cabaret star. Obviously, Dawn is an acrobat, and Dee Dee is a little girl who's very, very adventurous. So
sounds very cool.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about in that area, I think.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Oh boy, you're growing up fast. You used to be scared of the dark.